it was given to Japan. A co-founder of the Chinese Communist Party, Li Jiachao, said, "When the war ended, we had dreams about the victory of humanism and peace. Instead, as he said, the opposite happened. The freedom and rights of the small and weak peoples have been sacrificed to a few big robber states." This perfidious act triggered the first mass movement of protests in China, formerly known as the May 4th movement. Symbolically, it is regarded as the first moment that the Chinese people rose to protest against foreign powers. However, as China remained weak and divided, with no central government in place after the collapse of the Qing dynasty in 1911, the humiliation of China continued. Japan launched a full-scale invasion of Manchuria, which had been Chinese territory, in 1931. 6 years later, the Second Sino-Japanese War began, with the immediate fall of Beijing and Tianjin. 8 years of Japanese occupation of China followed. Sadly, this Japanese occupation was often brutal. In late 1938, after Nanjing fell, it is estimated that 300,000 civilians were killed in the Nanjing massacre. The Japanese invasion of China could have continued for decades. But after Japan made the mistake of attacking Pearl Harbor in December 1941, China and the US became allies against Japan. Quite amazingly, Mao Zedong presciently anticipated this in a speech in 1916, 2.5 decades before World War II, when he said the time would be in 10 years, the place would be in the Pacific. It has been talked about for a long time that the US and Japan will go to war. In 10 years, China and America will join the just cause. The Japanese occupation finally ended with the Japanese surrender on August 15, 1945. Sadly, after the Allied victory in 1945, Western powers barely acknowledged China's role. The Oxford scholar Rana Mitter has described China as the forgotten ally, and he observed that China was the first country to face the onslaught of the Axis powers. By holding down large numbers of Japanese troops on the mainland, China was an important part of the overall Allied strategy. 1842 to 1945 is a long period. It is also a relatively recent period. Hence, most Chinese are aware that China had experienced many painful invasions and humiliations. In this time, China was known as the sick man of Asia, and this phrase still hurts. On February 3, 2020, when the Wall Street Journal published an article on China entitled "The Real Sick Man of Asia," China expelled 3 Wall Street Journal reporters. Most Americans were puzzled and mystified. Yet if one understands the century of humiliation China suffered, this strong Chinese reaction could have been anticipated. Today, no American newspaper would publish a headline containing the N-word. It brings back painful memories of the recent exploitation of African Americans. Similarly, the phrase, "the sick man of Asia," brings back equally painful memories. So what was America's role in this century of humiliation? We will explore this question in the next segment.